How did so many polls, though, get it so wrong?
I know that New Hampshire is fiercely independent. I came in there with a very, big problem, as we know. And I just determined that I was going to dig down deep and reach out and listen and talk and do what I have always done, which is what makes me get up in the morning, and that is to figure out how I could tell people what I want to do to serve them. Because I always believe it's about your service for other people. And so when I began to talk about what I wanted to do and answer people's questions, I took hundreds of questions from Friday until late on Monday. It really began to connect, and I could see that people were really going to give me a fair hearing.
You also did better than Barack Obama among Democrats and people making less than $100,000 a year in the state. What's your analysis of that?
Well, I think that there are a lot of people in America who need a president. They're worried. They are among those who could lose their home to foreclosure, or they've already lost their health care, or they're afraid their job is going to be outsourced, or this economic environment in which we find ourselves, we may slip into recession and they'll be the first ones let go. I try to understand what's actually going on in people's lives. I want to appeal to both their hearts and their heads to try to figure out, well, what are we going to do? Because I'm into solving problems. I'm very conscious of the fact that you can say whatever you want to say, but when the cameras are off and the speeches are over, what have you actually done to help people? And I think that so many voters want to make a decision that they think is the right decision, because everybody knows this is a really big and important election. So they watched, they analyzed, they sought information from me and from others, and they said, okay, we want to go with somebody who we think won't forget us, will get up every day and work hard for us, who understands that this country has got to get its middle class going and get prosperity for everybody and deal with our problems. And at the end of the day, they know that experience counts. It's not change or experience. You've got to have the experience, and it's not just experience, in public affairs. I've done that for many years, but it's experience in knowing what makes our country really great, what makes it work for people.
Some observers believe that moment when you got emotional on Monday, when your voice cracked and your eyes welled up, that humanized you and made you much more attractive to women voters.
I am someone who is pretty other-directed. I want to know what's happening with you and what we can do to help you. And that moment, which obviously I've heard a lot about since, gave people maybe some insight into the fact that I don't see politics as a game. I don't see it as some kind of a traveling entertainment show where you get up and you perform and then you go on to the next venue. For me, it is a way of figuring out what we stand for, what our values are, and getting in a position to actually help people. And I take it really seriously, and I think people kind of got that for the first time, because I know that there are a lot of questions, and I'm trying more to get over my sort of natural reserve, which is sort of who I am and where I come from, to give people a little better understanding of why I do this.
Where did that come from, though, that moment? There was a sense that perhaps you were feeling so discouraged and frustrated and exhausted, and perhaps even seeing this thing that you worked so hard for slipping away.
That's not how it felt to me. I go out and I meet in a campaign day hundreds, if not thousands, of people, and I'm always asking them, well, how are you? What are you doing? What do you need, or what do you think? And when I was asked that, it felt like there was this real connection. It was so touching to me. It was about how we're all in this together. We have to start understanding that the problems we have as a country are eminently solvable, number one. But number two, we've got to be more sympathetic. We've got to be more empathetic.
Did you feel that coming from that questioner? Because
yes.
She was saying to you, how do you do it? And suddenly you had to talk about yourself.
I did. But a lot of people who ask me that are asking me because they're trying to figure out how to do it themselves. So it's not about me, and it's not just about you, it's about us. It's about who we are together, because it's easy to get a kind of isolation when you're in the public eye, and the people that you're with, you're talking at, and the people who are responding are, almost part of the backdrop. And I keep trying to bring people out about what they need, and this woman reached out, and I just felt this real connection.